right, so glad you could join us live on Facebook. You're also getting like a sneak peek into the Kingdom Mentor Redeem Your Voice group. We kind of channel these videos out, but I thought, we gotta let you have a chance. I am really excited about our guests because I don't know about you, but finances can really be on your mind. And Charissa Quade is going to teach us how to, let's say this, how to manage our money, but with an identity focus. And I love this because this is the identity series on the Kingdom Mentor podcast. So will you help me welcome Charissa Quade? Hey, Charissa.
Hey, Charissa, thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, I'm excited about this because I think most people can really struggle with their finances. So first, I want to hear your backstory. I kind of read it, but share with our audience some of the amazing things that you walked through in your backstory of this.
Well, sure. It started when I was in tears right next to the chocolate chips and the flour. Had counted up my groceries and realized I was going to overspend again. I was so mad at myself, like, why couldn't I make this work? I felt like such a failure. See, all things money and budgeting made me panic, and I didn't know what to do. I struggled with money as a new bride, and we had both brought debt into our marriage. I had my car loan, he had his student loans and his credit cards. But it fell upon me as the sole provider. I was a self-employed business owner with an irregular income, putting my husband through school. And despite all of this chaos I had around money and stress, like I had this small little desire, Charissa, to see my husband graduate debt free. Now, to be honest, I had no idea how we were going to pull this off.
Right.
Money was super tight. The debt was 20% of my income that first year.
Ooh.
And I had to figure out how to pay for his school so we didn't incur any more debt.
Okay.
I didn't want to be paying on student loans for his student loans for decades after school was done, like so many of my friends were doing. So I stumbled along the best I could until one day, about 2 years later, I realized if we could come up with a couple $100, we could be debt free by the end of the day.
Wow.
So I had my husband come in because I made him click the button to submit the last payment. I mean, it was his student loan. And as I watched that balance drop to zero, I didn't realize that day, March 17th, 2010, would be a defining moment in my entire life.
Yeah.
Immediately, there was such peace of mind, even as I headed into another slow work period.
Wow.
Now, to be honest, at this moment, I still don't like money. I still don't like budgeting, but I had a bigger fear. I had the fear of money always being out of control, of being stuck in the same place, stressed out and overwhelmed about money, not being able to do the things that I really wanted to do for my family. And since I use the Bible as my guide for my life, I turned to the Bible for wisdom on how to handle money God's way and how to run my business. And over the next few years, I turned around and saved up $79,775 in cash.
Wow.
To pay for the rest of my husband's education. And we've now lived debt free for over 11 years.
Beautiful.
So friends and family were like, how did you pay off the debt so fast?
Yeah.
How are you paying for school? Can you help me?
Wow.
And so I shared these tips that I learned how to handle money wisely with them. And I saw that they were working for them too.
Okay.
So at that point, I dedicated my life to helping other women overcome money struggles, gain financial peace with a biblical perspective so they can handle money with confidence, take care of their families, and make an impact. Wow. And now I help Christian business women create a financial plan to pay off or save at least $3,000 in 90 days by getting both their personal and business finances in order. And we do this by aligning their money with biblical values. And my goal is that they create a financial legacy that they can pass down to their children's children.
That's beautiful. And you need to stick around to the end of this podcast or this Facebook Live because Carissa has a special for you that she's going to let you in on. Now, okay, so that's just really pretty and nice. But let's get down to the nitty gritty of how did this shake your identity early on when you looked at this bill and you're like, what was things going through your mind?
Oh, early on and it's been a journey, I will say this.
Yeah.
I felt like I was a failure. I
Hmm.
felt like I was failing my family. I felt like I wasn't a saver and I
Hmm.
couldn't save. I felt like I would never be able to get past the worrying about money and checking my bank account and hoping that the money would get deposited before the bills came out.
Right.
And so I really dealt with a lot of that, a lot of fear around
Sure.
money. And I also dealt with, uh, you know, what I realized is when I had this fear about money, if is there going to be enough, or when I was staying up late doing my little chicken scratching to try and make all the numbers work out, what I realized later is I wasn't trusting God.
Wow. Hello.
And over the 10 years that I supported my family, I saw how faithful He was.
Hmm.
Because every week I would start off with a blank schedule, and I had a certain number of hours and clients I needed to see. And to make sure we made ends meet plus paid for school. And so many weeks, Teresa, I can't even count how many weeks I would have exactly the same number I needed to
Wow.
make all that happen. And if there was a week that was less, there was a week or two before that had more hours. And
Okay.
so I saw how God was so faithful through that. Another identity that I struggled with
Yeah.
is because I was working so hard and having to hustle
Mm-hmm.
to come up with all the money for school. I really felt like, there was this spirit of slavery, that I didn't have a chance to rest. And it came down to a disobedience issue. God's like, you need to rest. You need to
Yes.
rest. And I had put it off for a couple of years. And
Mm.
because I always felt like if I don't keep up the hustle, we're not going to be able to make enough money. I'm not going to be able to make enough money to, make sure we do all the things.
Yeah.
And so I dealt with that and realizing, over the years, I don't think I started off with this, but I really ended up with my worth and my value come from
Mm.
how much I can bring in.
Boy, that's a sticker right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just out of curiosity, what business were you doing? Were you doing your coaching or was it something else and then you merged into helping? I mean, I'm sure people are like, what was she doing, girl? And you were staying
Well,
at home, right?
for about 16 years, I was a
Uh-huh.
sign language interpreter,
Oh, cool.
and I was running my own independent contract business, contracting with different agencies. And
Awesome.
so God really used that to help me provide for my family. And then about 6 years ago, I started coaching women on the side and, about their finances, and then transitioned into that in the last year full time.
Wow. Yeah. So that's been a journey. I mean, how was this is my question, and I just hear people asking. They're like, Carissa, I have a passion for this. But there's this point of being a hobby and being a business. Can you speak to that for someone who really to like, hey, listen, it can't be a hobby. If you want to make money, you've got to, and not in a hustle, you know me, no strive, simply abide. So how can you help them with steps to bridge that gap between a hobby they really love, I really love this, to, I wonder if this could be a business.
I think anything could be a business.
Good.
You have to show up for it to be as a business. And really, if you're putting all the money into it and you're not getting any profit, that's a really expensive hobby.
Yeah.
So I would say, if you're wanting to turn it into a business, then you need to, and this goes along with the whole money thing. I think you really need to list out how much you're willing to spend on your business
Mm-hmm.
and how much you need to bring in to cover taxes, to
Yeah.
cover your expenses, and then to bring home the money that you want to bring home.
And
And then for me, because sales and marketing was not my strong suit for a long time,
okay.
I would say if you're wanting to take your hobby into a business, find somebody who's really good at sales and marketing, because if
Yeah.
you don't have sales and marketing, you don't
Yeah.
have money coming in.
Right. That's good. And a lot of times, I think what's sometimes I know I have you have to get a maybe a part-time job. You can't just all of a sudden, okay, I'm quitting everything. Here we
Mhm.
go.
Yeah.
You got to
Oh,
use wisdom in that.
mhm. And I would recommend doing an overlap. If you have your hobby, work your full-time job, pay your expenses, maybe get your household expenses down as low as possible.
Right.
So you have some money to invest in your business, and then just work it until it grows enough that you're like, okay, I either need to hire help or I need to cut back on
Yeah.
my other job, and then make that transition. Don't just leap.
Yeah. Well, and that may really put a damper on someone, but I think if you're looking at it and you're just getting started in some of these areas, uh, I think you got to use wisdom. Now, let's talk about this. This is a kingdom principle that us women don't follow very well, and that is invest in yourself. Might be investing in time or taking care of yourself. I mean, that cup of coffee with Jesus is priority, but investing in like, hey, this Charissa, maybe I need to invest in her course. How do you tell people that investing is not a bad thing when it comes to themselves?
That's an excellent question. And when you're looking at whether if you need help in a certain area, and let me just use a fitness trainer, okay? I mean, I could go to the gym and I could, play around on the machines and probably get, some benefit. But I don't know how all the machines work. And I don't know how to, the best, if my goal is to lean and strengthen or whatever, I don't know what ones would work best for that.
Wow.
So when you're looking for help on an area you're not, you need to get better at, you want to get better at, and you are thinking about the investment, like it's a, you need to look at who has the proven track record and
Mhm.
who can actually get you there and who can explain it in a way that gets you the results, and who is going to be there to support you along the way. And for me as a Christian, like when I'm looking into something, like a business coach or someone that I really want to speak into my life, I'm looking for a Christian, someone who
Yeah.
has a godly perspective on it, because I want that covering
Yes.
and I want that wisdom from them. So
Excellent.
for finances, here's the thing I tell people is, if you're investing with me or somebody else and you're like, I'm spending all this money to do money, like that, it doesn't always make sense. But I know what I can do is, I can, within a few weeks, I can help you get a budget that you're excited about. I can help you get on a plan to pay off debt very quickly. A
Mm,
lot of women who worked with me have paid off tens of thousands of dollars, if not more, in just a few
great.
weeks, few months, and even a year.
So
And
good.
I also can give you strategies on how to save money and save money on an ongoing basis.
Right.
Plus a whole bunch more. I could do a whole lot more. But what I can do for you, I can do that in a very short amount of time.
That's awesome.
And so you're paying for the wisdom, you're paying for the
Right.
shortcuts, but then you're also, if you take that money and you invest in a coach to help you with your money, whether
Mm,
it's me or somebody else, I don't care. I just want you to get helped.
yeah.
you know, um, the return on your investment is going to be huge,
Yeah.
because what a money coach, a financial coach will do for you is give you the tools and strategies that not only in that short time that you're working with the coach, but these are strategies and habits that you can now apply for the rest of your life.
Excellent.
And you can pass down to your children's children.
Yeah.
That's where the true fruit of your
Oh, I love
investment
that.
comes
Yeah, where you really leave a legacy. So
out. Hmm.
that's beautiful. Let's speak to this. I know in my journey, I was retired in 2006 and I so wanted to make money online. And first it was on the phone. I realized I couldn't stand the phone, but I got tremendous help and wisdom from Second Kings chapter 4 about the widow and her
Hmm.
two sons. And she cried out. So what did she do? She first asked for help
Hmm.
with to Elisha. So someone's first step might be saying, I need help. Maybe I just need to check out Carissa's free thing that she's got here and get us starting. So she asked for help first. And what did Elisha said? What could I do for you? So it's like you ask not, you get not because you ask not. I love that. So he told her something very specific. He said, gather as many vases as you can, as you know the story, and close the door and begin to pour. And I thought there were real keys there for you as you're
Hmm.
asking for help. I'm talking to anyone who's just, I need to start somewhere. Ask for help and then follow instructions. There
Hmm.
may be something in this free guide that if you don't follow the instructions, it doesn't do you any good to invest in Carissa because you didn't follow the first instructions. And I love that this really encouraged me because Elisha told her to close the door. So you may have a dream, but don't share that pearl with anyone because you're going to get scoffed. You're going to get resistance because you're doing something and it's making that other person feel like, well, a little uncomfortable.
Hmm.
So close the door and begin to work. And we know the story. She poured and poured and was able to pay off her debtors and live off the rest of what she uh, poured in and obeying. So, taking that analogy, I'm putting you on the spot. How would you, taking that analogy with identity background, how would you speak to that in your terms with your business on how to do something like that?
Well, I think what I have learned over the last 6 years is that a, most times the root of your money struggles is not because you don't have enough. It's not because you
Oh,
have mountains of debt. What
oh,
it really comes down to is you don't know who you are,
oh,
who God has created you to be, and you don't realize who He is. Because what I have seen is when you can get that peace and you recognize that He loves you more than you can ever dream. And all of your money mistakes, we've all made them. He doesn't hold any of that against you.
mm,
And he doesn't want to punish you for it. Now, yes, there is reaping and sowing, right? But I have seen so many times when you start with just the simple instructions of getting a budget in place, of having a plan to pay off debt, and just being in control of your money. What I have found, and this is so exciting to me, is that when you start with those simple steps that will change your future,
mm.
God steps in and He abundantly provides for you. I mean, you're able to get this debt paid off so much faster than you ever dreamed possible, and
So
build
good.
up savings. And just as you build up your family's finances and stabilize them, your relationships improve, you change as a person, you realize you're a confident, capable woman of making wise financial decisions for your family, your relationship change, and then as you stabilize that over the abundance that you have, you're able to go into the community and be a blessing and be, a representative of who God is to
So
your
good.
community.
That's the bottom line. In our Redeem Your Voice camp, we start out with Amos 9, verse 11 as a beginning point of identity. And it was like in that day, they restored the walls of David. They repaired, restored, or what's that word? I can't think of it. And then they rebuild. So
Mhm.
what a great way to start. And I love that you're speaking to that, whether it's a poverty spirit or a orphan spirit. And someone's like, I don't know. Well, just You know, this was a big test for me a long time ago. Some preacher said, if you're, she's a woman, you're hiding money in your wallet, you got a problem. I'm like, ooh, I hide money in my wallet. Okay, what? But to get back to that repair, you know, you need to repair your identity, repair your relationship with God. And then that restore, that is where you get restored from the orphan spirit. Or if you want to know more about that, you can talk to us. Or just that spirit of poverty that I don't have enough, so I'm going to get. I'm going to grab because I don't think I have enough. And it's a grabbing instead of an opening your hand in great thankfulness and
Mhm.
trusting God to be the provider. And I know someone, I just know that I know, Charissa, someone's like, yeah, you don't know what I'm going through. I have a very limited income. I'm so sorry. I understand that. But can you even start from that smaller place, Carissa? Can you speak to that person who's like, but I only have this much. Will you speak to them?
A lot of comments and questions I get is I will budget when I have more money.
Hmm.
I will pay off debt when I have more. And let me tell you, there's two principles at work here. If you when because I had a really low income that for the first couple of years of my marriage. We barely had any money when
Wow.
everything was paid in school, all of that. So I understand it's difficult. But if
Yeah.
you don't have a plan to manage your money then, and you don't have control over your money, like where it's going, because you really need to, like when you're limited on a limited income, you really need to know exactly where that money is going.
Right.
And this is a habit that you build. It helps you get through that time
Right.
without a doubt.
Wow.
But as you build that habit, when God does bless you with more, because I do see the principles of obedience and
Mm.
walking with God and being a wise steward of your money and then Him blessing you.
Right.
And when
That's
He
good.
blesses with more income, you know how to handle it.
So good. Yeah.
Let me just throw out, I don't know if you guys have heard, this always shocks me.
Okay.
The most of the lottery winners are bankrupt within 2 years
I've heard that.
because they did not know how to manage that increase, that
Wow.
extra income. And so if you have a limited income, one, having a plan for your money will take a lot of stress off, no matter how much money you have. But two, having a plan so that you can get out of debt and get rid of that so you have more of your income to use and enjoy. That's building habits so that you don't just blow a whole bunch of money
So good.
when you get it.
That's so good. I think I always think of the faithfulness with the small
Mm-hmm.
means so much, whether it's money or you're just getting started and you only have 3 or 4 clients. Treat like you have 3 or 4 thousand clients and serve those clients well. God, the money kind of follows faithfulness. I'll get these pop-ups in my Instagram, 3,000 followers or whatever, or just, get rich. And God and Dave, my husband, always says, Teresa, tell them you don't chase money. Money chases you. It's a mindset. Yeah, right. Money chases me. What happens is faithfulness is built up with what you have, and you're able to, in that faithfulness with the little, you're able to then handle more and more, whether it's money or clients
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. So we're talking about this. We're not going to leave you listening and think that sounds all great. Let's give them a tool uh, to be able to implement right now to get a taste, Carissa, of what you do. What's this? You have a special link
I
just
do
for
have a
those.
tool, but can I just say one thing real quick?
Go for it.
Um, it comes down to obedience,
Yes.
to apply biblical principles to your finances. And when I did this, and I realized I needed to take care of my family first,
Mm,
and trust God for His provision, be grateful for His provision. For that's where the freedom came from.
that's
That's where the
good.
peace of mind came from. And I didn't let other people dictate how I should spend my money. And as I really tightened in on my family, taking care of my family first, because this is a honorable thing that God has given each of us.
Yeah.
He provides for our family through us and our work and our business if we have one. And when you are responsible to manage your finances in a way that your family is taken care of, that brings honor and glory to God.
So good.
And so then you can, grow your business. You can invest more, you can save more, you can give more. And those are all attributes of God.
Right.
But it starts with obedience to apply biblical principles to your own finances and take care of your family first. Now, that free guide, so I love this. If you're a woman who wants to leave a biblical financial legacy for your children's children, then you're going to love my 7 brilliant financial habits that every woman needs. And this is a free guide for you. You can download it at my website. It's at changeyourfinances.com/kingdom mentor. Kingdom mentor is all one word, all lowercase. And let me just say that again.
Yeah.
Changeyourfinances.com/kingdom mentor. And it's a free guide. It's my gift to you guys, just as a way of thanking you for letting me be on here and teach you. But I want to challenge you guys. Are you waiting for someday to have that inner calm and that peace of mind about money so you can create a financial legacy for your children's children? Or do you want to be in control of where your money is going today?
So good.
It's your choice. And you get to choose. And that's one thing I want to leave you with, you guys. No matter what your situation is, and I've seen a lot, no matter what it is, whether it's debt that you made from mistakes, it's debt that from life happening, it's poor financial habits or that your parents never taught you, whatever it is, you can change.
So good.
You get to choose today what your finances will look like today and tomorrow.
That's so good. Just an ad when you said obedience is your greatest form of worship.
Mm-hmm.
So nothing tastes better the next day than obedience to God. So think of that. Think of that. You may be a worshiper, but think of worshiping God by obeying what he's telling you. And that might mean, okay, we're going to go past the fast food and we're going to go home and fix a meal. Might be just as simple as that. But I'm not saying you still can enjoy yourself, right? I mean, it's not like chain you in. It's like a diet. Okay, chain you in and no cheat day. The cheat day helps you go on. Am I not right? I mean,
I want you, I don't care if you eat out. I don't care if you go and shop at Target, whatever your thing is, I don't care. I just want you to be intentional about it and to set an amount at the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to spend $100 on clothes. If clothes is your thing, then you take out $100 and you go spend it and you enjoy it, because all of your bills are covered. And you have decided this is an okay amount for me to spend here, and now you can enjoy it. So I just want you to be intentional about it and not just going because you feel bad or emotional, you're trying to feel better, and we deal with all of that stuff in my program, the emotions and the spiritual level to it.
Well,
but
ultimately,
then I don't care what you spend your money.
Ultimately, if you get the foundation of identity and you get that taken care of, the steps, don't they come all the more easier? Just, hey, I'm not, I think so many people let what's in their bank account define them. You're not defined by that. I can remember in my beginning years of thinking that, and then not realizing that what I had to offer needs to be honored. So I didn't give it away anymore. I'll never forget one time, it's been quite a few years ago. I don't always listen to my husband. And he said, why are you doing all those free videos? I'm like, huh? And then he encouraged me with the original Kingdom Mentor. It was a Kingdom Mentor media group. and then it became the Kingdom Mentor Academy. So when it comes to doing your things and offering them, you have value. Like Charissa has incredible value she's sharing with us. So don't be afraid in that walk of managing money and setting up a business and being able to ask, make the ask where you're not really asking, you're just showing up with value. And finally, I got to say this to you. Okay, you ready? Ready? This is my motto. Imperfect action is better than no action. So if you're
Mhm.
like, on the edge of getting that free, or imperfect action is better than no action. And often this will beat the battle of fear. Like if I didn't take imperfect action and produce some books, they would still be in my computer, and you wouldn't get listen to the vine dresser. You see what I'm saying? No, I could do better. And then this, an excuse is a well-planned lie. Imperfect action is bad. So I believe some of the Holy Spirit live recorded is tugging on you. At least get the free guide. Go
Well,
ahead.
get the free guide,
What's it
reach out
again?
to me
Changeyourfinances.com
/kingdom
/ Kingdom Mentor, all one word, all low caps.
and get the guide. You'll be
Yeah,
on my email list, and then reach out to me. And I am in my DMs all the time. I'm in my email
good.
all the time. And I genuinely care about you
Yeah,
and the transformation that comes that when God reclaims his daughters,
yeah,
when they start getting control of their finances.
right.
And so I am available if you have
That's good.
questions, need
Yeah,
help. If you resonate with me, I do have a free Facebook group,
yeah.
but if you need help, reach out.
And
There,
I,
one of my clients said to me,
yeah,
Charissa, you helped me so much because I felt like I was such a hot mess. I was disorganized. I had tried to get my finances together so many times. And when I came to you, it was a judgment-free zone. You helped me cut through the shame and the fear and the doubt I had around money and turn my life around in 3 weeks. And so, I'm like this in person. I really am. This is who I am.
that's
So
so
if
good.
I resonate with you, I would absolutely love to help you.
That's so
If I
good.
don't, then find somebody who you
Yeah.
do and who can help you.
Yeah. And someone who has that identity background, because you can follow A, B, C, and D all your life. But if you're not coming to the fact that I'm a much loved daughter, I can trust him, he knows what I need, he will provide. You can't get to those four principles. So now on Instagram, sometimes it's easy, they're a little less intimidating at Change Your Finances.
Yes.
So, and then are you what's your
So
website?
on Facebook, my business account is Change Your Finances, Facebook and Instagram. Easy.
Great.
So
Okay, easy.
find
Love
me,
it.
Charissa
Okay,
Quade, on Facebook, but that's a little bit harder to spell and
sure.
connect to me through either my business Facebook or Instagram. And then
Excellent.
if you want to be friends with me in person, then that's fine too.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this podcast and you know someone that would really benefit, please share the podcast. Send it to your friend. Send this video if you're with me on Facebook. This is valuable information. So I want to just speak a word over you, Charissa. I just believe Papa God is so proud of you for taking the steps. What you did for your husband is like so faithful that I believe he has higher and higher planes. Not that we're into the height, but we're into the obedience produces more. So I just see you being a forerunner of the kingdom of God, of really teaching people finances based on their identity. I believe God's opening the way with his favor to give you the strength as you are so faithful to your family. He loves that. And he's really proud of you. I got to say that. And as he makes more ways and more doors open, it won't be a matter of which door. It'll be a matter, I know which door to go because he's paving the way. So I just pray favor. I pray the anointing of the Holy Spirit to do things in an accelerated way. What would take 10 hours would take 1 hour. And just believe that and speak that over you in the name of Jesus. And thank
Well,
you
thank you. Well, can I
for
share something for you?
you
I
can.
followed you for a couple of years, and I think we've actually talked before, but your vine dresser books and words have spoken so much life into me. And so what you're doing is you're really just sharing such an authentic way. that really brings so much freedom to a lot of people. So thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we're going to say goodbye to you on Facebook. And if you're listening again to the Kingdom Mentor podcast, share this podcast.